Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Sharing the Group with Matt. Today I'm talking to two of the Space Juniors. Wow, how exciting. Excellent. Yeah, now I can, yeah. Excellent.
Oh, all right.
How
Can you
are
hear
you,
me?
mate?
Yeah, good. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, how you doing?
Good, good. Ah, you got the American accent. How long that
Yeah,
take?
fucking, yeah, man, they got me. Yeah.
I
What can
tell
I
you
tell you?
what, I've done about 59 interviews and I don't think I've been more excited to do one.
Yeah, man,
Just
I haven't done an interview for 30 years. So. Or
Oh,
with,
no,
I think
this is
it's even more, right? It's 35 since the juniors, right? Something like that.
yeah,
33.
excellent. How are you, Mono? I don't think his audio's on.
Ah, shit, come on, Mono. I'll text him.
All right.
Yeah, it looks like he's not online. Yeah, but thanks, Matt. This is cool. Yeah. I hope you don't expect me to remember anything.
Yeah, well, I do.
Yeah, you tell me. I'll interview you. Yeah, I'll interview you. Yeah. But yeah, what
Hey,
was it like going out to see the juniors?
I loved it, man. That was,
What else you
and
gonna say?
it was usually on a weekly basis too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
we used to play a lot. Yeah, I remember that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Trade Union, the Hopetown, the Lansdowne. I think I even saw you guys at a squat one night.
Yeah, maybe. I was living at that building in
Cleveland
Annandale.
Street. Oh, yeah, yep.
Yeah, the Gamrad.
Yeah,
Yeah, was that where you saw us?
yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I think the Splatterheads were there that night too, if I can remember correctly.
Yeah, I don't remember, but yeah, probably. Yeah, we used to play. We used to do a lot of gigs with them. Yeah.
Yeah, you did. I can actually remember one was at the trade union and I was tripping off my fucking head and you guys had played. I think Red Planet Rockets played and then the Space Juniors came out. No, the Splatterheads came out with all the blood and the fucking makeup and everything. And I had to leave like 10 minutes into it because it was just fucking with my head. It was crazy. So how long have you been in the band now that you're in?
Oh, Tony, what it's like 3 or 4 months or something like that. I've only done.
Wow.
I've done like 2 shows with them. Yeah.
Yep. Excellent. Oh, so they were around before you joined because they sound pretty clean. They sound like they've been doing it for a while.
Oh, you watched the video?
Mm.
Oh yeah, good job. Yeah. Well, the drummer's only been in the band, maybe a month more than me. He's, maybe 4 or 5 months or something. So, I think maybe it's changed a bit since we got in. Yeah, it's cool, man. It's a rocking outfit. It's a rocking outfit. Yeah.
Hey, so why did you go over there? Was it to pursue the music or you wanted to change? Why did you go to America?
Yeah, it's kind of hard. That's a long time ago. I think I came over with my brother. I'd been here before in the mid '80s. In 1985, I hitchhiked around America. That was before. Yeah, it's before the juniors. So then I went back and I was living in Sydney, and I knew Mono, Carl from before that. I remember seeing X one night with Carl. I must have been about 16 years old or something,
Yep.
Yeah, so so we started doing the juniors, yeah. But juniors split up in, I think it was 89, 90, and I came over here with my brother, and he went back, and I was like, I'm just gonna stay here, see what happens.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Hey, who actually wrote the lyrics for the Space Juniors? Who was the main protagonist in that one? Who was to blame for that?
Yeah. Well, I'd have to, really split it between Carl and I. Carl and I started the band. Most of the songs that some of them, he did the music, I did the lyrics. Some of them,
Yep.
I did the music, he did the lyrics. Some we did together. He did some with Paul, the first bass player, and well, actually, there was a whole
Dave.
bunch of it. First one on record.
Okay. Yep.
And we'd do different combinations. Gene had contributed a lot, also. So we'd all really contribute. But Carl and I started it, so a lot of the songs are the ones that he and I did.
Yeah, definitely. Dave wasn't a was Dave an original?
Yeah, Dave joined I think it's like, I don't know, 89 or something, when we did Chewin' and Zoog.
Chewin'. Yeah.
Yeah. So he was on the second record, the Chewin' record and the LP record. But Dave contributed a lot too. He wrote songs with Carl and brought a whole different energy. Paul and Dave were both really great, really lucky to, the band was, Juniors was a rocking band, man.
Oh yeah. I was actually having a bit of it wasn't an argument, but I was talking on one of the punk sites with someone, and I said, like, it was great going to a Juniors gig. You got a set and you got to hear 30 something songs. In a set. It wasn't, it wasn't just dragged on. It was 30 fucking songs, guys. No.
Yeah. Well, when Gene, of course, there was lineups before Gene joined, and but Gene was fast, man. Gene was incredible, man. So we got through the numbers, man.
Yeah, oh, definitely, 100%. So can you hear it? Can you hear us, Mono?
He says he can hear us, but I don't know. He can't talk to. I don't know why he can't talk.
Oh, okay. There's a button down below. There's 3 buttons. If he presses the first dot, I think he can go. But that's all right. He can listen.
Yeah, but hope you join in, Mono.
Yeah. Well, when I found out he was going to be on the show, I got 2 of them at least.
Yeah.
So you haven't had anything to do with Dave and the drummer fucking.
Yeah, I haven't really had touch with Gene since the band split up, and Dave's my brother, so I'm in touch with him. But he lives in Europe and Asia, and
Wow.
So
Is he playing music?
Dave?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah.
Wow. Because I don't know. It was always a pleasure to watch you guys. Like, I mean, I think at least once a week I saw you guys play. But that was at that stage, you could, in 1 week, you go see 9 bands, 10 bands or something.
Sydney 80s was good. Good. It was a good time for rocking out,
Yeah, it was definitely.
Yeah.
So you met Mono like earlier and earlier before this. How did the whole lot of you get together? Was it something in On the Street magazine, like we need a bass guitarist, or
Well, I'll go through the whole thing if you want. So I knew Mono and I started getting some songs together, both playing guitar. I was singing on most of them. Mono sang a couple of them, and then we had bass player called Wendy Witch. She was we all knew each other from hanging out, going to clubs and friends and
Yeah.
girlfriends and whatnot. And drummer Magaloni, Joe Magaloni. So she was the original drummer with Joe Magaloni and
Wow.
Wendy Witt. So two girls, two guys. It was an awesome band, and we used to. It's funny, we used to play Frenches on Oxford Street, and it had it had a bit of a heavy following, if you know what I mean, and
Yeah,
we were a
definitely.
bunch of years up there playing the punk rock, and they're all digging us. That was it. And then they left the band, and then we had this guy Spaz on bass, and
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
yeah, originally Paul Dunn was playing drums on the like physically on one of them drum machines with the
Yeah, you were
keypad.
telling me. Yeah.
I
That's
remember we
insane.
played at the Ugle Soccer Club. We played at,
Okay.
and then Paul became bass player, and then Gene, Carl knew Gene through Ragdoll, I think.
All right. Yep.
Yeah, so when Gene came in, that's when the band really played tons of gigs, and the band was at its peak. Did some recordings, and Matt was in the crowd.
Yep. Yep. Always, mate. Always.
Yeah. So we went through all these different lineups and ended up with
Yeah. As a lot of bands did in those days.
right.
And I find it a lot now that I'm getting in more today, because I've been stuck in the 80s.
No,
Sorry, I'm just putting Vegemite on my daughter's toast.
Oh, that's all right. The drummer in the band I play now, he eats Marmite, so
Oh. I don't know how anyone could eat that shit, man.
Well, he's from Birmingham.
All right, yep. I still don't know. I don't know. Yeah. What were the influences? Because there's I shut this front fucking door. You can't really put. Well, I don't think the average punter or the average listener would. What were the influences you guys had to play the music that Space Juniors played? Because there was nothing like that around at the time.
Yeah.
Anywhere.
Yeah, thanks, man. That's a cool thing to say, man. Thanks. Yeah. Well, Mono was into more of the roots. Well, we all were, but like Link Ray and Cramps and more like the 60s garage and late 50s rockabilly. He had a great sense of rhythm and roots music, or what I'd call that. Maybe it's the wrong word. Rock and roll, I think, is the right word. Anyway, and I was into some of the I was into the punk scene, early on. The first band I saw was Ramones in 1980,
Yeah.
They went to Canberra,
Wow.
So it was kind of a combination of that, and
Well-
like a lot, not taking it too serious, We were like, yeah, well, we don't take it serious, but listen to this,
Yeah. Well, I guess the Ramones, they're another band that could play 30 songs in a set as well.
They would have been a big
Their
influence.
earlier stuff was
Right.
quite like that too. So yeah.
Right.
Why we've already really talked about that. How long were the Space Juniors together? They were about 84 or 85?
No,
Was it?
It was 86,
86.
86, 87, 88, and I guess 4 years. Yeah.
Wow, 4 years. And you left that much of an impression on me. 4 years.
Oh, good on you, man.
I've been telling everyone, I've been saying, I'm interviewing the fucking Space News. I'm interviewing the Space News. And they went, oh, how do you get to fucking find these people? I said, I found them. I'm interviewing them. This is great. Yeah. So memorable. I know it was. If you were anything like me, you probably won't remember that much. But have you got a memorable gig? Is there a most memorable gig that you guys played?
Oh, mate, that's one of them tough interview questions. I've heard about them. Gee, man. It's a real good question. Gee, I don't know. I don't know.
It pretty much means that a lot of them were memorable. Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, I already talked about them French's ones, in the early lineup. So maybe I remember them the most. I don't know, because they were, the first time playing in the band and everything. It was the first band playing live and all that. But there's other ones that stand out. Like I remember, Trade Union had like different floors. Remember?
Yeah, they're the three levels.
Yeah, and we get to play them all, different shows. But I think it was the first floor where they had the Pokies. I used to like them show. I think there's a video on YouTube of us playing there. I used to like that show. I don't know why, but I got memories of that. And when we went to Melbourne, it was Geelong, I think it was. Yeah. So different ones stand out, I suppose. But it's hard to say just one. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Have you got a worse gig? Have you got a gig that
worst gig? Yeah, worst gig, man. Oh, yeah. You know what else? We had a lot of good ones at the Petersham.
Yeah, definitely.
Play there.
That was always a good place to see bands. Petersham.
Yeah. Worst gig. I don't remember the last gig, but I'm going to say the last gig because that was the end of the juniors.
Yeah. And it just like was it the last gig, or was it you finished? Things happened after that, or did you go? This is our last gig. We're breaking up after this, or did that happen later on?
No, I don't remember exactly the order, but we had personality conflicts and whatever. It was getting. I don't know. It's probably my fault, mate.
If you got to blame someone, you might as well blame yourself.
Yeah. I think yes. It's probably.
Yeah. So you mentioned the Petersham. What was your favourite venue that you played in? What was the one? Oh yeah, we're playing here tonight. Love it. Fucking always have a good time.
I wish Mono. Yeah, I wish Mono could talk.
So do
I. We played so many places. We used to go to Wollongong. We played on Manly Beach in the daytime, and we played them. Them boat cruises. Remember them?
Yeah. They were great. Yeah. I had Carver the first time on a boat cruise. Well, I can't remember. I think the Hard-Ons were playing. There was a few. Yeah, there was a shitload of bands, but it was the first time I ever had that Carver. And I remember the line to the toilet was like 10 people deep. And I'm ready to shit myself, piss myself, and vomit at the same time. And like fucking, it was they were always a favorite of mine, the boat cruises. Like, but yeah, I fucking had Carver that was insane. It was. I missed out on a lot of bands that day, but fuck, it was a crazy day.
I'm glad you're still here, mate.
Yeah, I remember too a couple of people jumping in the water. I think back then they still do them now.
Well, they really? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But a lot of American bands, they do a lot of like No Effects kind of SFNU, snuff. Yeah, it's not an Australian
I
fucking
see.
thing anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
Which
well.
was good back in the day. It was amazing.
Yeah, that was, I think it was a great time for rock and roll bands, definitely. Late
Yeah.
80s, Sydney, Melbourne too, was,
Mm.
yeah.
Yep.
But what a venue, there was, there's, I guess upstairs at Trade Union was good because, I liked all these like, smaller gigs and all that. But, Palace was another place we used to play a lot, the Palace Hotel.
Yeah.
Upstairs at the Trade Union, I think that was the best sound, but I think also we played the Enmore for towards the end of the band there. There was a show, like a metal show at Enmore Theatre, I think it was.
Okay.
And we were on it, and I
Wow.
think so it was good to play them to the big. And then we played. I guess the Esplanade in Melbourne when we went to Melbourne. Some of these places had better. So it's it's good to have good sound. But it's also good to be standing on the floor with the crowd at the first floor of Trade Union Club.
The Espy is still going off too. Like that. Yeah, it's still going off the Esplanade. So, like, you weren't just in the Space Juniors at the time, were you?
I was for the most part. The band was kind of like we're a very independent band. We made our own records, and we'd play the gigs, and we were gigging a lot, so we saved up our money to make our own records. We put them on our own label, Juniorville Music. And we had offers from some of the other labels, and we wanted to be independent. Gene really pushed the independent thing, which was, we did get in an interview in Rolling Stone, an article in Rolling Stone, and they were talking about how we're the only band who's really independent and stuff. So it was cool.
Definitely.
But it's a band that it went up real quick and then it disappeared, and nobody really remembers today except people like yourself who were right in there.
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah. But now I forgot the question. Sorry.
Oh fuck now, so have I.
Yeah, I guess I was leading up to something.
Yeah. Oh, you played in a few bands back in the day. It wasn't just
my focus was I was really into the juniors. There was one point where I played Mini Moog in the Festa Brothers. You remember the Festa?
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, that was awesome. But I think that was the only bands I was in. I don't remember. Mono
Red Planet Rockets was Mono, wasn't it?
I think that might have been after juniors. Yeah, I wish I could hear him. If you can hear Mono, you could type it. No, but he had some rocking acts going on, and then Gene had something later on, Buttheads.
Yes.
Yeah. He was singing and playing drums. It was fun. Yeah.
So have you kept in touch with the Australian punk scene?
I got to be honest, I haven't even kept in touch with the New York punk scene.
Okay, yep. And that's something I want to bring up too. G.G. Allen, I need to know.
Yeah, I remember I went to that last show at the gas station. I don't remember going inside, so I might not have, but I think the highlight of the show was when he came and ran out on the street anyway.
Yeah. And
so, there was a bunch of us standing out on the street, and I don't know, maybe we couldn't get in, or I don't remember why, but there was a lot of people on the street, and he just ran out. If I remember correctly, he was, totally naked and all that, whatever all over his body, and
yes.
You said like he tried to hide in with the punters, but
That's
maybe. Yeah, I don't remember that, but maybe you're right.
Have you seen the documentary Hated?
No, I haven't seen it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, watch the documentary Hated, and you see the cops come into the gig
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
looking for him and that, and
I think he was already on the street then.
yeah, he'd already walked out. He had
Yeah, yeah,
his
yeah.
white
No,
jock strap on and a leather jacket.
right. But
Yeah.
then they got him. I saw he went up Avenue B, like round the corner, and they got him a couple blocks up. I remember
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm actually interviewing Mel, which is going to be good. That's
Yeah.
yeah, that's going to be something good.
Yeah, that's great. But I'm in this band now. It's an awesome band. It's a loud, dirty, it's a loud and dirty rock and roll band, So
Yeah.
it's good to be back in there and playing again,
And I think the okay, this is off the subject, but I think the vocalist, he's not Gigi Alling it. He's put his own stamp in the Murder Junkies, and I think they're fucking fantastic what they're putting out at the moment. It's without GG, you wouldn't think the Murder Junkies would even be a band you'd go and see.
I haven't heard anything that they did.
Yeah.
Since
Well,
Gigi.
Dino supposedly is still playing naked. He's just bashing the drums with no clothes on. But yeah, other than that, the vocalist is he's brought in the Murder Junkies. He's brought in his own style, his own, and he's not trying to be GG. Yeah. I've got to ask you, did you have a worse venue back then in Australia?
Oh, maybe that's what that was maybe the question before. I forgot. Worst venue. Oh shit. There was that one. I don't want to say there were any bad ones. I think there was that one, the Vulcan.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was hard to get people there. I think it was.
Well, as a punter, I'd say probably the worst venue in Sydney at that stage was the Harold Park Hotel. I hated seeing, but I watched a lot of bands there, but I for some reason I didn't like the place.
Yeah, I don't know if we must have played there. We must.
Yeah, you played at the Harold Park Hotel, definitely.
Yeah. Maybe that's the worst one. Maybe you're right. Yeah. We used to play at the Lansdowne a lot, but I like the Lansdowne. That was kind of a home at a certain point,
Well, didn't Dave work behind the bar at the Lansdowne?
Oh, he might have.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did.
What we used to call it, the Pants Down. Yeah.
And straight across the road was the Punk's Picnic in the park there.
Yeah.
So do you have any with the Higher and Tighter, do you have any input in what goes on with them?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. The band's High and Tight. I mean, for a minute there, it went higher and tighter, but yeah, I've been writing a couple of songs. One of the songs I think is on YouTube. And do backups, and the band's a great band. It's like Julianne Ruley's the vocalist. She's she grew up in the Lower East Side. She's a real local New York rocker. Fucking awesome fucking powerhouse, man. And
Excellent.
she writes most of the songs. She used to play the bass, but now I'm playing the bass. It used to be a 3-piece. And then Rock and Rob on guitar. He was in the Virginia scene. He lived in New York 30-something years.
Wow.
He's from Virginia. He was in Candy Snatchers and some of these bands from down there. And the drummers lived here 30-something years too. He's from Birmingham, and I lived here 30 something years. So
Yeah.
it's a fucking rocking band, man. You know.
Yeah, I enjoyed what I saw. I really enjoyed what I saw. Definitely.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
What I watched was in Brooklyn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that was good. I'm gonna do a bit more research because like I want this to be a Space Juniors interview, but I'd like in the near future to interview High and Tight.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm sure we'd love to do it. Yeah, yeah. We'll be playing. We've got a gig lined up for a couple of weeks. But yeah. That'd be great. Yeah.
Definitely, we'll organise that for sure.
Yeah. So let me ask you, man, how's the scene in Sydney these days? Are you living in Sydney or?
I'm in Wollongong.
Oh, mate, I was born in Wollongong, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
most of my kids.
I'm a gonger child of the steelworks, you know? Yeah.
Yeah. You went into music instead of working at the steelworks?
Well, you know, I actually ended up growing up in Canberra, but I was born in Wollongong. But yeah, I mean, it's back then in Australia in the 80s, you know, a lot of bands, you could kind of go into music and work a couple odd jobs and, you know, be on the dole or whatever, you know. It was possible to do that for a while.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the scene now is like since I've been doing, because I started doing this show when COVID hit. I was I was at home, we were in lockdown, I was bored shitless, and I thought, fuck this, I'm gonna start a show and interview Aussie punk bands. And the amount of bands that I have found since doing this show, they're all a bunch, like they're our age, you know, they're nearly in their 60s, these guys. 90% of the bands, you know, and it's fucking great to see. The scene's doing well. It's back to the 80s. Like the 90s in Australia, the punk scene in the 90s in Australia was fucked. It was fucked. And unfortunately, my house was broken into, I think, in 92. And instead of stealing the 400 Australian independent records that I had, they broke them in half. Like I had like everything you guys put out, I had limited editions, colored vinyl, and the fuckwits snapped all my records. So it wasn't until my kids got me into social media that I found out about YouTube and all that shit. And I realized I can get that music back. I can fucking listen to the shit that, you know, I grew up on that I love so much.
Yeah.
And then, and so I've been stuck in the 80s up until 2015. That was when I started listening to the Aussie punk scene that was around now. And yeah, that's fucking rocking. There's some amazing bands out there. And I've interviewed 58 of them. Like I think you're number 59 of the interviews I've done. And yeah. And they're all our age.
Yeah, which was the favorite one you interviewed?
I'd have to say the Owen Guns.
I remember them.
Yeah. It was I posted because I post a song on this punk site every day, and I posted a song from the movie Romper Stomper.
Yeah.
And this guy said, "You fucking racist cunt," blah, 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 blah. And we got into a discussion about it. I said, "Mate, my wife's Aboriginal. I was just posting a song that, you know, was about the culture that was happening in the 90s in Australia with this with these Nazi skinheads and all this shit. And we ended up becoming good friends. And he was the one that made me do this show to begin with. And he was one of the first interviews I ever did. And we're good friends now. And every time they come to Wollongong, I see he lives in Wollongong actually, but the band live in Sydney. But yeah, he's the Owen Guns. There's Crashing the Crappenders. There's Top Noble. I think you probably would remember Top Noble. They're a Wollongong band from the early 90s. Fucking
the 90s, I was living over here, so I don't really know
Yeah.
any bands after the 80s.
yeah. Well, once I started doing this show and finding out about these bands, it's punk's gone back to the 80s.
Yeah, well, it's a good place to be.
Mono just said he used to be in Ragdoll.
I know, Carl. That was Gene, the drummer. Or maybe he was too. I don't remember. Were you Mono? All right. Yeah.
That's a good way of talking to me, Mono. Oh, Martin.
Huh?
Oh, you said Martin used to be in Raggadolls.
Martin. Who's Martin?
I don't know. I'm just getting these little fucking
Yeah, he's typing
comments from him.
the interview.
Notice the bass player Marty that used to be from Raggadoll.
Martin Booker. He said Martin. Yeah.
The Owen Guns. Yes, Martin Booker's from the Owen Guns.
Oh, got it.
Okay, Mono. I've got you right now. Yep.
We need you, Mono.
He's an amazing bloke. He is an amazing bloke, Martin.
Yeah. Didn't he interview us, Mono? He's answering. The interview starts now, Matt. Mono's finally getting involved. Fuck all that other stuff.
Excellent.
Now's the real interview.
No, this is excellent. I was so stoked just having you. And then when you told me that Mono was going to be in it, I thought, well, fuck.
Oh, I know. I wanted to see you, Mono. Where are you, you bastard?
That's what I don't understand. I interviewed this band a couple of weeks ago called Donkey Cock. No. Yeah, Donkey Cock. And one of the guys in it didn't have a camera, and I didn't know that phones, you could buy a phone without a camera these days, unless he's on a computer without a camera. I don't know. But
Yeah, I don't know. I'm on the computer, but yeah, maybe you could get the flip phones. I don't know.
yeah, he's probably got the flip one. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe or maybe the camera broke or something. Anyway, Mono, Mono said Martin Booker did the Red Planet Rocket record covers.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
I've
get
got to
your
have
working,
another
Mono.
chat with Martin. Like, we talk a lot, and he's never ever brought up this shit.
Yeah.
He's never ever brought up. That's amazing.
Yeah, well, we'll get another interview. Bring him on too.
Yeah,
Mono,
definitely.
come on, Mono,
He'd
get
be
your-
stoked.
Yeah, but what I'm wondering, right? Mono doesn't have a camera, but how do you get a phone that doesn't have audio? That's what I.
Yeah.
Go on, Mono. Where are you? Oh, he's typing something now. Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember where else did we used to play? The Even Star or Evil Star. I think they changed the name.
Yeah, they were the early openers, weren't they?
Yeah, I think so. He says he has a shitty phone. Yeah, it's pretty shitty if you can't talk to anyone on the phone.
It's
Yes.
a bad phone.
Huh? Well,
And it's
well,
got
maybe,
no camera, so you can't do sign language.
yeah, yeah. Well, maybe you can only text on it. But yeah,
So I
Yeah,
want to hear more about the space juniors. I want to just hear about like the lifestyle, like You know, what was it like being a Space Junior? What?
Yeah, when we started the band, I got this apartment in Paddington. It's kind of like a modern apartment, not modern, but wasn't a terrace house. Like most
Okay.
people
Yep.
most people living in terrace houses, right? I was working as a bike messenger, and Mono moved in there, and so that's when we really started getting the band going. That was the early '86, I think.
Yeah.
And we called that place Junior HQ. And
And when did you think, like, okay, you've gotten together, you've played some, when did you think, okay, this is actually something that's gonna, do good? When did that happen? That you thought, oh, the Space Juniors, I reckon we should go further with this.
We started getting, like it right up in the press and stuff. I don't remember on the street, or maybe other things besides on B-side, I think was one. People started interviewing us. There was some show we played in the Cross real early on. I don't even remember the club. And I remember we got a good article, a good write up, and I don't know. I guess when Gene came in, band really started kicking, man.
Well, you were one of the hardest working bands at the time.
Yeah.
And as I said earlier, like there was always at least once a week there was a Space Juniors gig.
Carl just answered that question. Sorry to interrupt you, Matt.
You're right, mate.
Yeah, but he said for him it happened right away at the Youghal Soccer Club. So which he's probably right. That's when we had Paul on playing the drums with his on the finger pad of the drum machine, and we had Spaz on bass then, and but it was I think we knew we were in the circuit once after we did that one, like it was pretty well received, Yeah.
Can you remember who was the band you played with, like as a headliner or as a backup band? Do you remember who you played the most with back then?
We used to play we used to play a lot with I was at one point I was living in a place on King Street with Tex Perkins and Peter Reed and Lachlan McLeod would come around. Paul Kidney lived there, and Stu Spasm, those guys had all these bands, different bands every week, But
when Tex was in Thug?
Yeah, it was around that time, and I think we've even played with Thug. But those guys put us on a lot of bills at the Tradies and at the Petersham, and we would when we kind of like play with sometimes with the hardcore bands, the waterfront bands, and sometimes with Texas Stu and Lachlan's bands, like the Red Eye, what were they called? Red Eye Records, I think it was. We used to. So we kind of fitted in with different bands, but they're the ones I think maybe Carl remembers. We were part of the Tex crew, he says, which was good because we were kind of a hard fast band, and people would sort of say, oh, you're speed punk or whatever, and we were like, well, maybe we're food punk, because we had a couple of songs, chewing and don't eat spinach and whatnot, Myla. So we had like a good sense of humor, we were tongue in cheek all the time. So that's what. So we fitted in with the Tex.
Just by the lyrics.
Yeah, so it's kind of we fitted in with the Tex crew, but we fit it in with the punk crew too, because the band just kicked so well. You know, the band just moved along. You know, it's a high powerhouse, high action band. You know, fast, snappy, real catchy melodies. You know.
I got to say this because, as you were saying, you're not much into you're away from the Australian punk scene. Mate. Did you know Tim from UMI is actually the singer for the Hard-Ons now?
Yeah, I saw that on YouTube. Yeah, I saw it. And Tim actually mentioned Space Juniors in his books, so that was cool.
Yeah, great book.
Yeah, right. He said the Juniors were his rite of passage, and then he broke his nose at the Juniors show.
Actually, Mick Blood mentions you guys in his book as well.
All right, cool. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he sent it to me because we were going to do an interview.
What's his book?
It was going to be a review about his book. And the poor bloke had a really bad meltdown in the last couple of months. So yeah, it never happened. But yeah, he mentioned, I've read the book 3 times in getting ready for this review. And yeah, he mentioned it's like he doesn't go on or anything, but he mentions like the bands that were in that scene at that time, and he mentions you as one of the bands.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. What's that book called?
Yeah.
What's it called?
Wait 1 second.
Yeah, no worries.
Go. I've got so many kids, they just fucking annoy me.
That's all right. Yeah, that's all right.
Limelight.
Dad, you have to
right.
now.
I've got another 20 minutes, mate.
It's 1:26.
Yeah, but we didn't start till later. Yeah, no, it's called Limelight, the definitive story of the Lime Spiders.
Oh, that's great. He mentions us. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, it is good. Go away. What are you doing?
I'm pregnant, guys.
You're 13. You're not pregnant, you idiot. She's the only one that likes my sort of music. Like, I've got 8 kids, but the 13-year-old is like, she wears all my band shirts.
I'm wearing one right now. Look, Dad.
And she's actually wearing you've probably never heard of these guys, but she's wearing a Slug shirt.
Right on. Good on you.
Yeah,
Slug on.
she loves her punk music, which is great. So
Yeah.
and I'm wearing a Slug hat. No, I'm not. I thought I was. But well, were you given much? Can you shut the door and the window, baby, please? Were you given any advice as a young fella getting into the music scene by anyone, really? Was there any advice given?
Nah, we didn't have a clue what we were doing. It's just kind of go out there and get them, I think.
Yeah, just do what you do.
I remember like just going to the venues and being like, can we have a gig and stuff like that in the beginning, Yeah. And then when we made the records, I remember I went, because we didn't have any distribution or anything, so I took the train down to Melbourne with a big box of like 100 records or something. I took them around to the stores and shit, got a couple of gigs. It was just sort of do it yourself.
Yeah.
Work it out as
you go. As I mentioned before, you were one of the hardest working bands at the time.
Yeah. Oh, what? Well, mine, I just said, don't get ripped off. That was our strategy. There you go.
Don't get ripped. Yeah. Have you, like, I was speaking of, I've gotten this from a few bands. You get 0.00.5% if someone listens to one of your songs on Spotify.
Yeah, I haven't really like got with the times with all that. I like YouTube, you know, because you got all these 60s garage rare singles and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And you got like live shows, you know, there's some cool stuff.
Yeah,
in there.
it's great. Yeah.
It's free. It's free, you know. But you know, I'm just from a different time, man. You know, like making records and you know what did we have in our time? We had the 12-inch 45, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and so you know, some people they kept up with all that. I didn't keep up with it. Yeah. So, but yeah, they should be paying more. Of course, they should be paying more. But you know, I think I'm surprised how they did it. Actually, how did they just get the whole world's record collection and be like, okay, now we're gonna.
Yeah, exactly.
But you know, even back then we did our records because independently because you know, like labels were probably, I don't think it was the same figures, but maybe the same idea, you know. But yeah, like there was Sydney had small independent labels. I think that were in it for the music, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
So you're only in the one band now?
Yeah. Just I mean, I didn't play for quite a while. You know, just life, paying the rent, you know, getting by, whatever. But I was in a band. Last band I was in 2007. It was like 2006, 7, 8, something like that. It was called The Evicted.
Okay.
Singing and playing guitar. Some of that's on YouTube. And
Vegemite, because it's for Monique.
she wants Vegemite.
Yeah, I've got to do it. 13 years old, man. I've got to put the fucking Vegemite on the sandwich.
Yeah, you got it.
Stop it. No.
Yeah, so Carl says,
Have you played with any band that I might have heard, or like as on the bill, not with the band, but on the bill? Like, have you played with any of punk bands that we might get over here?
What is that? Do you want to say something cool?
Yeah, no, I've only done two gigs with High and Tide, and
Oh, that was so cool.
Yeah. I mean, go away now, please.
Look, Dad. It came.
Yeah, I know what you did, you fucking idiot. Take that. She just went and opened my beer with a knife, and she's like taking the whole glass off the fucking thing. So I'm going to cut my lip drinking this one. I tell you what, mate, don't have kids. You got kids?
no kids.
No. What about you, Mono? Has Mono got kids?
No, Mono's got no kids. Yeah. I don't think you do. Let me ask him. I don't think he does. Yeah, he's answering now, but no, I don't think so. No. Whatever that means.
If you did have kids, would you let them listen to your music?
Oh yeah, I mean we wrote the music's for kids, man. You know.
Well, like, you weren't the hard-ons. You weren't singing about sex and shit like in every song, like you know.
Yeah, we were. Yeah, we had more of a, I guess, more like a childlike astronaut kind of thing, you know. We were space genius, you know.
Yeah. You weren't taking yourself seriously. You were just having fun.
Yeah, but then you put the records on and then they blow up your stereo, you know.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So because I know I owned everything you guys put out. How many? You only put the 2 EPs out, didn't you?
It was an EP and then a single and then an album, but the album spun at 45 because you know, the songs were short. I think we got 6, 7 songs aside. I don't remember. It was quite a lot. You know, yeah. So 3 records.
Yeah. So
And Chewin went to number 1 on the Sydney Indies. Chewin actually debuted at number 1. You know?
wow.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. It was a welcome aboard. But you know, Juniorville went to number 3.
Yep.
So then we put the single out, went straight to number 1. Yeah, that was cool.
Do you ever want to come back to Australia only for a little bit and do a reunion tour? Has that ever crossed your mind?
Yeah, I'm down. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I would definitely be at that. Well, most of those shows. Yeah, that's in the books. Just when it is unknown.
Yeah, I don't know if the others want to do it, but I'm a rocker. You know, I'll do it.
Yeah, definitely. Remember Mark Welsh? Have a nice day. Asylum.
Oh, Mark Welsh, was he in Asylum? Was that him?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember him. Yeah. We
I've
used
got
to
no idea
play.
coming up with his new band soon because he's been doing a lot of solo stuff.
Yeah, we used to play with the Asylum sometimes. I think at the Lansdowne.
I think you played with them at the Playroom, maybe on the Gold Coast.
Oh, yeah, maybe. Yeah.
I know you did play at the Playroom. It's just who you played with. I'm not 100. Maybe Thrust because they played there fucking nearly every week. But yeah.
Yeah, it's hard for me to remember.
So do you have a lot of? In that scene back with the boys rocking it out doing the juniors.
Yeah, I missed half what you said. It got cut off.
Oh, sorry. Do you miss being in the juniors? Do you wish you could be back in that, or have you moved past that?
Oh yeah, probably a bit of each, you know. It's a long time ago. But you know, I like playing guitar and singing and being in a rocking band. So you know,
Yeah.
I think also juniors had some great songs. You know, really great songs.
Definitely.
That'd always be good to bring them back to life. Yeah, sure. But you know, moved on to another band also. So it's all good.
Yeah. So, would you ever bring High and Tight over to Australia? Do you think?
Oh yeah, we'd definitely be. Yeah, of course we would. Yeah, book the tour, Matt. We'll be there.
Oh, I can get some bands that'll take you on straight away. I've actually got a Canadian band coming over here. I got them coming over here and doing the east coast of Australia. And I've got a couple of Australian bands with them that are actually going back to Canada and Costa Rica and doing the tour there, which is good. So yeah, no, I'd love to see, and it'd be great. It would be great if you brought High and Tight over and have Space Juniors as either the headliner or the backup band. You know, that'd be fantastic. Would you ever think of doing that?
Oh yeah, you know, gig's a gig. Be into it. Yeah.
So have you only played in America with High and Tight? Have you toured anywhere else?
Yeah, I only done 2 shows with them.
Wait, in 5 minutes you have to walk up to the chip shop and get chips and gravy.
Yes, very soon, darling.
All right, Matt.
Yeah.
Hey, Matt, you go take care of your kids, your family. Let's do another one with Carl.
Yeah, definitely.
And
Definitely.
see if we can get Martin to join also.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much for being on the show. I really appreciate it. Sorry about the kids and shit, but
Yeah,
we'll
no,
cut.
don't worry. Yeah, don't worry. Thanks, Matt. Yeah.
Thank you, Mono, too. Thank you for your text. It's been great. No, it's been excellent talking to you guys, and I really appreciate you. I've been looking forward to this for a long time, and I'll let you know when it's about to come out.
Yeah, please do. Yeah, excellent.
Terrific, Mick. Thanks, mate. Thank you, Mono.
Be sure he's loud.